Hi, it's Teesta and Hippolyte for the Jugaad and Tech Enterprise course. So today we are interviewing for our midterm Mr. Anjan Mukerjee, who is the founder of Taraltec Solutions.
So Taraltec came up with a product that is very cost effective and efficient and cleans water essentially. They came up with this product solely on the mechanism of a shrimp, which we have expanded further later. And this product uses no chemicals or even requires electricity. So we hope you enjoy it. What was the problem you started off with that you wanted to solve?
Yeah, okay. So I'm a marine engineer. That means I have sailed on board ships all over the world. And there was a particular problem which was there in the late 90s and early 2000, which is when a ship goes from one place to the other without cargo, it has to fill in water to make it stable. And once it takes in the cargo, you have to throw that water out. Now, this water is called ballast water. But unfortunately, when you throw the water out, the microorganisms which you collected from the place where you loaded the water gets transferred. And like a typical immigrant, that guy is more hardworking and it kills the local ecosystem there, the microbes of the local ecosystem, which is very harmful to the fishes, the coral reef, and all those things. So, there was a regulation which was at that time getting discussed, which said that before you throw out this water, you have to actually kill the microorganisms. And that's the problem. I generally, for a lark, I thought, let me also put my thought in. And, the really big companies of the world, they were working on it. And I said, let me also, just for, to keep myself occupied, let me see if I can do something about it. So this is the genesis of the problem. What happened was I got actually engaged by an Israeli company in early 2000, and they also wanted to solve this problem. And they told me at that time the India-Israel, what do you call, some scientific cooperation was going on. So they said that they will probably do the research for this in India with their idea. So they identified certain technologies, and they, by some freak luck, I was selected to see who all in India do this kind of research. And so I went around all over India in all the research labs to figure out who was doing this kind of research. They had three different tech platforms which they wanted integrated and further taken further. At the end of some 6-7 months, I realized that this will not work, whatever they are saying, because being a marine engineer, and I was a chief engineer on board, I realized that it's theoretically possible, practically impossible. So I told them as much, and then they also lost interest. Later, what happened is this was playing in my mind that something like this should let me delve further into it. So I took an appointment with the deputy director of the National Chemicals Lab in Pune, and he was kind enough to give me an appointment. And so I mean, I don't have a background in all this. I am just a marine engineer. So for me to do anything like this, and it was just a pipe dream sort of a thing. But I said, okay, let me at least give it a try and meet these people, because you can only gain out of meeting such a very highly qualified people. So he was stationed in Pune, and I just drove down to Pune. While driving down, I realized that I don't know anything about the subject. And this person who I was meeting is a very celebrated scientist. He's probably one of the guys who's got maybe, I don't know, maybe 100 patents or something like that. Very celebrated guy. So I actually blanked out. That I didn't realize what am I going to talk to him, because he's going to catch me out in maybe 2 minutes or not even that. and I will be letting down the person who arranged this meeting, because on my own he wouldn't have given me ghost of a chance of of his time. So anyway, so I landed up at his place and he told me to just wait in his ante room. And I was wondering, and by that time I had clean blanked out. So I thought, let me read. Like in typical barber shops, you have these magazines floating around. So there was a magazine floating around. I opened it. It was full of differential equations and integration and all that thing. So I said, this is not my cup of tea. So I, left it aside. Then there was a next magazine, which was Nature. And that was, I just opened a page and there was one very interesting article on the snapping shrimp. And that was the first time that article was that phenomena was studied, and it was out in the public domain. So absolutely accidentally, that article was the page I opened it, and I got interested. And my first thought was, my God, this fellow is killing microorganisms, a small guy. If this guy can do it, I can also do it. So I immediately imbibed, by which time I had got a lot of confidence. So when I got called in to meet this deputy director, so he asked me, what is this idea of yours? Actually, I had told him about some other idea. Then I said, no, I want to kill microorganisms which is prevalent in the water like this, in ballast water. So he was totally shocked, because that was the first time anyone had even given him an idea like that, that you can actually do a thing like this. So he immediately called all his top guys, all the top scientists, and a team got formed, and which gave genesis. This was the genesis of the what exactly happened. And then we started solving the ballast water problem. Unfortunately, the problem was so big and so cost intensive that and this needed government support, which didn't come, unfortunately. And but let me also tell you, the tech which very interestingly came out of leafing through a magazine is absolutely prevalent all over the world today. But we are not part of it at all. It got hijacked. But this technology, I realized, had a lot of other applications. Water disinfection was one of them. So much later in 2017, I chanced on this particular thing while going. I was traveling in a bus in a remote Bihar village, and I realized that I saw the bus had stopped. So I saw there were a lot of people who were physically challenged. So I just asked that, how come there are so many people physically challenged at one place? I thought it will be some, some school or something like that. And the young guys, they said, no, this is because the water here is bad. And that's because of, if you have diarrhea at a young age, you get wasted. And that is this thing. So suddenly it clicked on me, oh my God, I can use the tech, what I have saw for killing ballast water for this thing. I can use it here. Meanwhile, in the interim period, I was doing all sorts of things in terms of using this tech for for wastewater treatment, or doing various other things. But when I saw this, I realized that this will have the maximum impact here, because you can save 10 paisa of a big industrialist by doing whatever I was doing with wastewater. But technologies already existed. But in this case, there was no technology which can be very easily be put to use and can have a mass impact. So that's when I started working, and this product came into being. Is as simple as small as this. All you have to do is open 7 bolts of a hand pump and just slide fit it in, and it takes less than half an hour to do this. Very, very cost effective, fit and forget, does not require any maintenance ever. And most importantly, it has got a life which will outlive the life of a pump, of the hand pump. And the cost of water which comes out is point not 1 paisa per liter treatment cost, which is like 1,000 to 10,000 times better than the nearest available technology even today. And apart from all this, it is absolutely environmentally friendly, zero carbon footprint. You name it, it's got everything going for it. So that's in short my story.
Okay, and so could you explain to us the shrimp mechanism, and as well how did you manage to create a very affordable and yet efficient product that you shown us?
Yeah, this is, I mean, if you are from the science background, this is a very, prevalent physics, principle. It's called the Bernoulli's theorem. In Bernoulli's theorem, what happens is if you shoot a jet of water in water, then there is a low pressure which is created. And once the pressure, and that low pressure creates a void or a bubble. And once the pressure, that bubble collapses, and that sends shock waves. And that's exactly how shrimp actually kills prey. And when this bubble collapses, there is very, very high temperature, 7 to 10,000 degrees centigrade. There's huge pressure, which is say about 500 bars, and there is huge turbulence, which is 2 to 3 times the speed of sound, 2 to 3 times Mach. This is what was actually mentioned in the article, which I saw in Nature, and that is what I transferred into a device. At that time, people were that article first was for the first time. It actually gave numbers to the phenomena. It previously everyone knew something was happening, but they didn't know what was exactly happening. So that's what I made it into a device, and that's what I just showed you. That's the device which is there. So Bernoulli's principle means, when I'll tell you in technical terms, when the ambient pressure goes below the vapor pressure of the fluid, a void is created, and once the pressure recovers, it collapses and sends shock waves. That's all you need to know. Let me give you an analogy which will clarify it totally, which is not exactly right, but for sake of understanding, that is very good. Is when a Concorde it flies, it is not supposed to fly in supersonic speeds over land. You know the reason for it? Because it creates a void behind it, and there is that sonic boom. And that sonic boom actually is a shock wave, and that's what kills all the birds nearby. Or your windows, they shatter. This is why you cannot have supersonic speed planes flying over land, because that's what it goes beyond the sound and the sonic boomings. So that is air. I am doing the same thing in water.
Okay.
Okay. Next one, Nallu. Okay. So, like, we were thinking if you, as the person who basically conceptualized everything, think that you have achieved what you started off with thinking as your end goal, or are you in the process of
No,
it?
no, it is
You see
nothing
the
like there
finish
is an
line.
end goal. Not, you know, you might have heard that people have become accidental prime ministers. I'm an accidental entrepreneur, and I started out having fun. But when you start having fun and you have too much fun, you keep doing it, and you realize there is no end to it. And so I never had a goal as such at all. But having said that, when I see people getting benefited out of this, because I travel to villages now, I've been to around 300 villages in the last 6, 7 years. And when they have used our product and actually benefited out of it, it gives you great joy. And the ultimate joy is not in money or anything like that. Not that I've made any money, but it's in helping people who can't probably give you anything apart from love in return. So when you go, you get all sorts of very interesting blessings from people. Very interesting, and it is so gratifying. So you can never say that, I started off with anything, but I'm enjoying the journey is what I can put it. And it's got multiple applications. I have done presently for the hand pump only, but the research is going on now, and I will do it in the next few months only. I will commercialize it for tap water. So whatever you use, everyone uses some disinfecting, these Kents and what do you call Aquaguard and Eureka Forbes or whatever you have. So they do exactly that. I'll also be doing something similar, but mine will be for the rural areas because it does not require electricity or chemicals or any of these consumables, because you don't get those consumables there.
Okay. And so your plan for now is to develop new products on the basis of your of the shrimp mechanism. Is that right?
You can say that, yeah, but I'm open. I started off having fun and still continue having fun. The day I stop having fun, I'll change tracks.